This is Jeanette Clark, learning installment number 2, Tech 3030. The things we learned in the last couple of weeks are about micro and macro technology. We learned between the two. Micro works with specific steps. I would incline it much to an SOP, a standard operating procedure. There's specific steps to what has to be done. Those steps have to be followed. To do this, you have to do that, you have to select this. I usually use SOPs in my own workplace so that when I'm on vacation or out of the office, my backup can follow my step-by-step methods to processing the payrolls that need to be processed, or facilitate the clerks in a step-by-step manner to make sure that nothing is missed. A macro technology pretty much gives the results to someone and let them work out their own solution. Let them work out the steps to how that solution is created. We also talked about alternative to instructional solutions, such as how to determine the best methods for instruction. We talked about rewards and feedback, performance aids, bonuses, incentives, and gifts, what the ramifications are of that, what's the best method to use, what are methods that we use in our own workplace. We talked about synchronous and asynchronous collaboration, such as Skype, Haiku, Blackboard Chat, and wikis. I personally don't feel that wikis are very reliable on what our peers or what other people have given, and it's not always the most accurate information. It's a good collaborative effort because we can use this collaboration to update and put things in our own time. Blackboard Chat and Skype, everybody has to be on together, which is why it becomes synchronous. We also, in synchronous collaboration, we use things like GoToMeetings to do conferences, things like that, so that all of us can get together and see the same information, hear the same information at the same time. We talked about who is responsible for adult learning. Had some pretty good discussions about that, about how as adults we are responsible for our own learning. It's our job to make sure that we're getting what we need to. There's still a little bit of responsibility on the part of the instructor to make sure that the material is being delivered effectively. We began our group projects. My group is using Blackboard Chat. I'm sure there was other groups that are probably using Skype and those types of things. Blackboard Chat tends to have a little bit of a delay, so I could post something now, but everybody else isn't going to see it because you kind of have to wait in turn for everyone else to post their stuff at the same time. It's not always in line, so it's if everybody posts at the same time, whoever comes in is whoever comes in. So what one person is talking about could be part of a topic that was 2 comments above, so you kind of really have to keep track of what you're doing in order to keep track of what's going on. Last week we talked about summative and formative evaluation and how it factors collaboration and accountability within groups. Summative is information on the effectiveness of instruction. It's usually done at the end of instruction. I would liken those to the evaluations that we give at the end of the semesters about our instructors or the content that we learned, whether we felt it was delivered in an effective manner, and whether or not it was put together to what we expected it was going to be put together. Formative evaluation is ongoing feedback throughout the course of whatever it is that you're doing. That would be something that you would probably get from your supervisor at work. Your supervisor would on an ongoing basis let you know if you're doing something wrong or if you're doing something right. In the case of instruction, it's not always the most effective tool to use. Sometimes it's good because the instructor and the student can keep track and make adjustments as they're needed. I would say one of the formative evaluation is our grade book that's on Blackboard, or not on, yes, that's on Blackboard at the BGSU site. We can look at our grades, we can see what's being posted, so then if we notice that things are not as high in grade point as we thought they were, we can make adjustments, figure out what we need to do to fix that, and get things in gear before the semester is over. I personally use that as a tool for me to make sure that I'm in line with where I need to be, to make sure that I'm getting everything done, that everything's turned in the way it should be, and that the expectations of the instructor is being fulfilled as well as my learning expectations. only a few weeks left. I'm kind of still a little, I don't know, tickled with the capstone projects and how they're developing and how things are being put together. Um, I'm kind of excited to get the semester over with and start the next semester, but at the same time, I'm very enthused about seeing what everybody else is doing and how things put together, and maybe learn from a few folks so that next semester when I do some more of these projects, I can take some ideas with me into the next semester as well as my workplace. I'm currently putting together a training session that I will have to do remotely. Not related to this class, but some training sessions, and so I'm kind of excited to apply some of the things that I've already learned into that training session to instruct employees into some employee service options that they can take advantage of at my workplace. So, see you in a few weeks.